Alright, today we're having a look at Wackia Field's Little Worlds of Creation preview by JP96 all day long. Alright, so here we are in Wackia Fields, JP96 all day long's preview of his new adventure coming up. Something we're a bit excited about. Now you may know JP as Drawnborn, either from LSRS's Discord or from my streams if you are tuning in, or Little Big Dez's streams if you've been tuning into those. And I've seen a couple of preview pictures of this, and it's looked pretty neat. And I did notice that there was a wormhole back there that we skipped over, and who knows if we'll get back to that or not. I noticed there's a fair amount of movement in the environment, and that's something we mentioned a number of times that I really appreciate. Giving the environment the feeling of existence, giving the environment the feeling that it's more than just a static place, and I do like that a lot. Looks like we're closed off here for the moment, so we'll go back to that wormhole perhaps, if we can get back up to it. I hope we can. Yippers. Neat. Now I wonder what this little world of creation is going to entail. It's going to be some form of adventures. TikTok Jungles, World 1-2, Treetop Tops, World 1-3A, Crystal Caves, World 3.13B. Can we go to these? No. Organizatron. We don't have anything in there yet. Huh. Well, when it said a little preview, I was expecting a little bit more of a little preview, I suppose, in this. No, we got nothing there. At least the sack pocket is not turned off. I wonder if that means that we're going to have items in this adventure or not. We did see items show up a lot in adventures, so that would make it worthwhile, but if there aren't any re-equipable items, then it would probably be better to just turn the sack pocket off. I imagine there's going to be a door coming up here soon. The door is ajar. The door is ajar. But the level is... it's very preview. Drawnborn, I appreciate the fact that you put this up. I did say I was going to take a look at it on the show, and I'm happy that I did. I like that, the little, the weird little, what are they called? Sandworms from Beetlejuice. Just flexing there in the background, as sandworms do. These are green sandworms, so completely different from your usual black and white, gothy stocking sandworms. I really need a pair of black and white gothy stockings, but that's just me. I think that this is... well, I think this is probably all there is to see at the moment. We're going to talk a little bit about it, but probably just a little bit about it back at the hub, and we'll see you there. See yas! Alright, and Wackia Fields by JP96 all day long, or Drawnborn JP, as they are also known. And, well, it's a yellow square, but really we should start out with a bit of a mea culpa on my part. I'm not going to take 100% of the responsibility for this one, but I do think maybe a good 85% responsibility should be on me. So now if you watch the video, and I imagine that Drawnborn was maybe screaming at the screen during the video, and it was said, oh well, this is a very tiny preview, and you know, there's not really a lot here, but at least they tell us what the upcoming levels are going to be, and oh, isn't that nice? And so I completely missed the teleportation flower that took us into the meat of the level. There's actually a fair amount of meat in the level. We're going to be talking about that. So you know, I thought that, well, you know, this is very small, and I bounced out. I wanted to record a little bit of the title screen for a pip, and I noticed that Drawnborn had chosen a tag of long for the level, and I thought, well, maybe that's like kind of a bit of a joke, like a play on the LBP creator name, JP96 all day long, and so it's a long level, but still it seems a little bit weird. And I glanced over and I noticed that there's actually scores listed on the scoreboard, and I was like, well, I never found a place to actually end the level, so how could there be scores on the scoreboard if there's no actual end to the level? And I thought, well, I'll just go back in and I'll play it again, because clearly I missed something. Maybe there was some secret or whatever. I don't think it's intended to be a secret, but yeah, there's a daisy, and if you stand in front of that daisy for a little bit, you'll notice that the daisy starts to spin, and it spins faster and faster. It does actually have a sound cue that I probably missed because I was talking over top of it while we were running around, or I probably didn't stand in front of it long enough, and eventually it will teleport you into an area that you can play and play more deeply and get more into the level. Now, I did say 85% of that is on me. If I had been paying attention a little bit more, if I'd been a little bit slower in exploration, we would have noticed that was it would have some effect, and I didn't. I ran past it, but I do think because the level has wormholes that we found earlier, you know, that showed us, for example, the upcoming level names that would be coming up, and so that's already one method of instantaneous transportation. To add in another method that's not being scaffolded, that's not being kind of pointed out to the player, that, you know, some flowers will have this type of effect, that I think that there are a number of players that would probably miss that. And when I was looking at the statistics page, now it is a little bit weird. This is not on JP at all. It's not on Drawborn at all. It's something going on with LBP, I suppose. When you look at the actual main title page, and it says that there, when I first recorded it, there were 1,113 plays on the level. Now, when I went back the second time to play for Pips, and well, actually, the third time to play for Pips. That's right. The third time to play through for Pips, and looked a little bit closer because I wanted to see, you know, how many people may have gotten tripped up by that. And it listed 1,298 plays on the level. But then bouncing back to the main title, it was like 1,129 plays. So there's like an extra 100 plays floating around in there. I don't know where they went, whatever, not a big deal. But the important thing here is that of those plays, whichever number is correct, it lists only 366 actual completions of the level. So that's only 1/4 of players that went in, or 1/4 of attempts at clearing the level actually managed to clear the level. So I do think that there may be a number of people that, like myself, got kind of lost, thought that, well, since it's a preview level, there's not really anything going on here, and then just kind of bounced out of the level as I did. Now, if you are one of those 366, or if you're a player coming up and you do kind of move on, and there is actually a fairly beefy, relatively simple platforming section in the level that we can play through. And while I do say simple, as far as gameplay, it is pretty simple. There's not really anything that's going to be killing you, which makes a lot of sense because this is World 1-1 of what's going to be a grander adventure. I imagine that there will be more hazards coming up in the future, but there's a lot of sections where you've got a nice, easy score chains to pick up. You could really build up your score, and I don't always see that a lot in levels. It reminded me a little bit of LBP 1, and it is nice to have every now and then a level where you can, it's not clotted with score bubbles, there's not score bubbles everywhere, but you can kind of work up a pretty decent score chain. I thought that was kind of nice. There's also a lot of, well, a lot is maybe overstating the case, but for the size of the level that's going on, there are a number of secrets that you can find. There's a little collectible section where you can use later on in the level that will unlock a chest by a fisherman who will explain to you that even the fisherman is as of yet unnamed, and the area that's around the fisherman will be expanded on in the future, and I thought that was kind of cute. That was kind of interesting. In that same section, there's kind of a hint for, well, the collectible does something else. The collectible unlocks an item that you can get. But pause that for a second. The fisherman section, there is a bit where there's a hint to what the next level is going to be like. There's a rabbit sticker in there. I thought that was kind of nice as well. So along with all these secrets and these little things to find, which I always do appreciate in levels, something else that I really liked in the level a lot was, as we mentioned in the video, that there is a lot of extraneous movement. There's a lot of background movement in the level, and I always feel that adds a bit of dynamism and life to the level. It doesn't feel just like a static place. It does feel like there is, you know, some energy in the level going on there. It's not just a diorama, so to speak. So I do appreciate that an awful lot. We run across a character who probably will be more important later on, I guess, because a fair amount of work was put into animating that character and making it swing back and forth, the Wackia kid. I thought that was really kind of cool. Later on in the level, there's one spot that is maybe kind of sort of a little bit easy to die in. If you're not paying a lot of attention, because it requires a little bit of air control, but you'll jump into this how would you describe it? It's like a round object, and it's got some spigots sticking off of it, and in the background there's a tap that's spraying water into it. You could jump into that and it'll throw you into another similar object, and then you'll bounce over and move on with your life. And I just thought it was a really nice looking object. It was really cool. The reason I say it is possible to die there is because it's easy not to hit. It can be easy if you're not paying attention to not hit the second kind of spigot object, I suppose. That's what we're going to call it. Spigot object for the moment. Because if you're expecting that it's going to do air control for you, then you just kind of leave the stick unattended and you won't actually get far enough. You do have to air control a little bit there. I did get killed there in the first time that I encountered it, but that was my fault. There's a nice little bit of hook hat. It's a scenic hook hat. It's not really a gameplay hook hat. I mean, you could fall off of it if you let go of the R1 button, but probably you're not going to die. But it shows you a little bit of the level, and it looks relatively nice. I really enjoyed this level overall, and I've got very little to complain about. Just maybe just indicating to players that Daisy is going to be important, that you will need that to actually progress with the level. But it did whet my appetite for this Little Worlds of Creation project that Dromborn is working on, and I do really hope that Dromborn does bring that project through to fruition, bring that project through to completion, because I'd love to take a look at it maybe on a stream someday. So Dromborn, I'm really sorry that I screwed it up during the actual video recording, but I enjoyed this level an awful lot, and best of luck in getting the rest of it out. But I think that we've probably nannered on enough about this one. You can tell that I enjoyed it, and I recommend it to y'all. It's picked up a lot of plays in under a week, so however Dromborn is promoting this, good job, mate. I should promote my videos however you promote your levels. But anyways, from me, Disco, here in Osaka, to all of you out there, wherever you may happen to be, thank you, arigato, sayonara, see you, and ciao.